So, my name is Samuel Archer. This is Muzilog.com, the Muzilog Music Podcast, and we have a special guest in the virtual building.
Yes.
I like how they say it in the Breakfast Club. But we're virtual today, and I want to welcome Mr. Alvin Garrett to the show.
Hello. Hello.
But welcome. Good to have you.
Good morning, Samuel. It's so wonderful to be here.
Yes.
In the virtual building.
Yes, in the virtual building. Shout out to Tangi for helping us make this happen. And also the Urban Influencer family. You know, you got to give them a little love. They're in the mix. You know, I got to shout them out and everything. So how are you doing today, sir?
I am wonderful. Full of life, giving life, getting life.
Well,
feeling good, man. Feeling good. Just
That's
glad to be
good.
here with you to talk about the new record, talk about myself, talk about you. Just ready to roll.
yeah. So I remember you a few years ago on the Urban Influencer, and it's just good to see you still plugging away.
Still plugging
Now,
away.
now I hope this is not, well, it is somewhat of a sour note, but I think I just want to just get your feeling on it. We've been getting spanked in the last 2 weeks. We lost a lot of people. Who did we lose that impacted your life in terms of we had Roberta Flack, we had Angie, we had Wiggins from Tony, Roy Ayers. I mean, we just got spanked in the last 2 weeks. So you want to just say something a little brief on that?
You know what? The Angie Stone tragedy really hit home because being a working musician, it made me think about over 20 years of nights I made it home. Leaving a gig late, should I go to sleep? Should I drive home? Should we ride home to make it back to church and make that little extra check? It's almost like every single trip flagged in mind that this could have been me.
Yeah.
This could have been any musician, any singer. I even worked with some of the people who were on that van with her.
Wow.
And you just think of how fragile life is, but how fragile just being on the road doing what you love, and then all of a sudden, it could hit like that. And man, it just that hit hard to see that someone at her age still doing what she loves, still and that's what took her out. And so it just lets us all know to just treasure each and every day that you have. And especially making music, keep making music as long as God allows you.
How fragile we are.
That's right.
How fragile we are. Well, not that I wanted to start on a sad note, but I just felt that we needed to uplift someone that might be hurting in a moment of joy, sadness, and just life in general.
That's
that we
right.
just took a moment to remember that as well. So, now you have released some new music. Now, is this new record leading to an album, or this is just a single? Like, what's the screenplay in the back?
Yes. Most people who know me know that anything I come with is a part of something else.
Okay.
So yeah, this is the lead single for a new project that I'm working on, and the single entitled is "You Give Me Life." And of course, when people hear it, they're going to see this is some good, what I say, old-fashioned R&B music. It just has
yes.
of just traditional R&B. I'm from the South, from Alabama. So because I'm from the South, you can say it has a Southern flair to it. But it is a part of a project entitled Talk to Her Like This. That's the name of the album. Talk to Her Like This.
Oh, you just slayed. You just killed it right there.
Talk to her like this. And so it's if you think about it, if you listen to R&B music over the decades and what it traditionally meant, it was that conversation. Like you have a song for every scenario. especially when you're trying to get with your lover or whatever. You know, you got that song, that baby making music, that I love, thank you, girl, or I miss you, girl music. You hear a lot of trauma in modern art. You hear a lot of fights, a lot of breakups. You hear more of that, and that could be a reflection of what we're going through in our culture. But still, there's a way you should talk to her. There's a way you should speak to her. And sometimes I don't know if all of we fellas out here really know how to do that. So you got to have a song to do it for you. So when this album drops, when you listen to You Give Me Life, just turn to your lady and say, what he said. That's how I'm feeling, girl. Let me play that for you.
I like that.
Oh yeah.
You're gonna just give him a little assistance.
Everybody needs a tutorial, and so this is
you'll be the Alvin Garrett BT, like a PT, right? Instead of chat, right. See the G, the chat GPT, the Alvin Garrett PT, just to help you get through and speak to her.
Speak like to her a certain way, like this, not like that. It's not working for you. This will work.
I love it. So let's go to the single, because we're gonna be here all day just getting in. But what was the process like working on this record? Was it an experience? What happened? Just give us the backstory.
The cool thing is, I did not get a chance to come to school with you at Full Sail to learn how to do all that engineering stuff. Had to learn that hard knock way. I just hours and hours in the lab. So I record, edit all my music, all of my vocals. I produce my own vocals, and of course, I work with other people producing their vocals as well. But this project, really getting into a space, and I'll say, what sort of triggered it. I have two daughters, and last year during the election, as a man, as a father, I'm sitting very excited about the potential of my daughters being able to grow up and say, hey, I saw a Black female president. That means a lot. And so for that to kind of crash the way it did, I saw how it affected them. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
And I had to talk to my daughters a certain kind of way to build their morale. You know what I mean? And so it's important that I say we as men, dig in and be conscious of how powerful our words are for the women in our community. You know what I'm saying? Or any woman at all. And I'm a traditionalist. That's okay. I'm old school. You know what I mean?
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that. I'm old school. And so getting in the studio, making music that I know when someone hears it, build them up and giving somebody life and hope, you know what I mean? And focusing more on our aspirations, not just our experiences. And some people have never experienced love, never experienced being treated in an adoring or an endearing way. They might not have gone through that, but why not dream about it? Why not hear a song that says, man, I wish my man would talk to me like this, or my man would treat me this way, or my old lady would treat me this way. Nothing wrong with wishing, right, and dreaming.
Yeah.
And so I'm creating my music is not just to reflect people's experiences, but to reflect what I believe we should all aspire to. You know what I'm saying?
That's a bar. That's a bar.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
A bar.
That's right. Come on, man. And so, recording, I have those vocals and those lush vocals, just making sure that sonically when you are in the car, when you put on the headphones, you're hearing those sprinkles jump in and out that make you feel like this experience in the vocals. And so when I'm setting and choosing my ad libs, I'm very meticulous about where I put them in the mix. I can talk to you about that. You understand that?
Yes.
Scanning that thing just right so it'll pop out at just the right space. And so if people listen to my music, you don't have to struggle to understand what I'm saying. You can understand the words first time around. You feel like it's catching you. It's more of a nursery rhyme approach that says, hey, I want people to remember my hooks, remember my lyrics, and really catch the essence of what I'm saying first time around.
Man, that's enough said, man. Enough said. I'm just hearing Jay's in the background say, "Let it breathe,
Yeah, they
let it breathe."
let it breathe.
Sometimes you just gotta let it breathe. That you put it lovely there.
That's
What
right.
is your main instrument of choice?
I am a bass guitarist.
Oh,
Bass.
yeah. Oh my God, you
I'm
guys are
one-
dangerous.
we are dangerous. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you why you guys are dangerous. I remember I used to work with a guy called Al Richburg. He used to be part of the Track Masters years ago.
Mm-hmm.
We were in Brooklyn, New York, and he's a bass player.
Okay.
So he'll have me come in to do little keyboard stuff on a couple of the
Mm.
records. And I think as a keyboardist, so we think a certain way,
Yes.
but when you're a bass player, it's a different sort of a it's sort of like a different thing, So I'll be sitting there like I work in calculus, like, okay, what is he trying to get me to play here? So it made me think when I worked on records with him. So
Mhm.
you being a bass player, I could tell that it's a different angle.
It is.
It's
It's
a different angle.
it's a pocket. You see what I mean?
You see what I'm saying?
Where's my pocket? Where is my pocket?
That's right.
It's funny
That's
you
right.
mentioned that because my co-producer, his name is Gerald Langford. He's a Berkeley graduate, and when we first met, he
Mhm.
was super elaborate. Like you said,
Okay.
calculus type of player, right?
Yeah,
Him
yeah,
and-
yeah, yeah. So, I mean, sometimes you got to go that route.
yes, you got to
You
go that
feel
route.
it, but there's so
Mhm.
many variations of feeling what it is.
That's
You want
right.
to sort of focus where that person who's leading the session is going, and
That's
then
right.
so you just it's sort of like a humbling. Okay, let me humble and okay, where you want to go with this?
Right. You're absolutely right, man. And it's a musical relationship. It's like, okay,
Yes.
I'm one way, this person is another way, but how can we blend that thing together? And that's one of the things I had to shout out him about is that he
Mm.
started putting that space in his tracks for me. Like he would not
Mm.
produce less because he knew Alvin's gonna fill that in with colorful vocals. He likes to have space to add
Hmm.
vocals. And so he started dialing it back to give me a nice musical platform, but
Mm.
build on it without fighting against a lot of auxiliary instruments that could
Hmm.
throw
Hmm.
off my creativity. So it's like over time, learn, but as a bass player, you want that pocket. I need to sit something in that pocket.
Yes, yes. The proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the pudding. I told you the record we were spinning till I get back to you. That record
Yes.
right there. Shout out to the folks at Muzilog Music Radio. We've been spinning that for the last couple of months too. So it's in rotation. So
Thank you.
so so we're happy to add this new single on to the rotation. Hallelujah, amen. Thank you, Lord. So let's talk about folks you may be collabing with. Have you been doing any cool collaborations in addition to what you've been working on?
Not recently, man. Not recently, but I have been spending a lot of time networking in Atlanta
Mm.
and starting to let a lot of new people get to hear my music, and then making myself available. I got a lot of hip hop artists who are now on
Mm.
sing on some hooks. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I think it's starting to catch on. In some different genres, and honestly, totally unexpected. You know what I mean? But it's just people are catching on and like,
That's how it happens.
yeah, man,
That's
I
how-
love your voice. Can you sing a hook here?
yeah.
And I've done a lot of gospel collaborations as well as
Mhm.
R&B. But so I'm interested in seeing what happens when I start putting my voice on some hip hop records. You know what I mean?
Okay, it should go well.
They want a little soul. You get your little soul.
It should go well, I believe. I believe it should go well. So
Mhm.
I do like to humanize my artists when they come.
Yes.
Again, don't worry about it. We're not gonna, we're not gonna traumatize you with these questions, but we like to just get a little personal, a little, So we want to find out what is your favorite color. What's the favorite color of Mr. Alvin Garrett?
I'll say blue,
Okay.
blue, and then brown, tans and hues. That
When you say brown, you mean like earth tone
yeah,
type
earth tone.
brown?
There you go, earth
And
tone.
I'm saying that because I'm looking at your
Yeah,
background. You
yes,
know,
earth tone.
so
Mm-hmm.
you have a little Egypt Kemet type of vibe. All right, all
Mm-hmm.
right. I feel you. I feel you. I feel you. Okay, so when the cigarette is in the kitchen, what does he love to prepare?
Nothing. You just got the most honest answer ever.
I wasn't expecting.
Nothing.
He
I
said
love to prepare nothing. I love to eat it, but do not. I knew that even better than the color. I was like, nothing.
all right. So you let me guess. You go to IHOP down the street. You go to Waffle House. Like how does that work?
I'm not cooking. Now I will cook eggs. I'll say this. I,
Mhm.
I, I can make some mean eggs and God rest our eggs. They are really going through the challenge right now. And and I've been known to make some mean oatmeal. So my daughter, she likes when I make some of Daddy's favorite oatmeal.
Well,
But it's not that I love to prepare it. It is just
oh,
mm-mm.
so the kitchen, the closest you get to the kitchen is when you're producing your records.
You just said it.
I feel you. I
You
feel
said
you.
it. I'm definitely cooking in the studio. Definitely got a nice big oven sitting right in there.
You know, when you did that, I remember I saw this clip with Fred Hammond, right? This was back in
Mm-hmm.
the '90s, and you know he had RFC at the time. Was it RFC? Um, yeah, no, not Radical for Christ. Was that his choir?
Yeah, I was trying to think about the RFC. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So she was with RFC. So he's in the studio and he's sort of going over the equipment. And then he sees this and he knows nothing about the equipment, but then he said, this right here, you see this? This is definitely the machine. And so they're like, well, what does it do? He's like, I don't know. And you know, he has this almost like a commanding way that he talks. So you're thinking he knows what he's talking about. And you're
Right.
like, wait, okay, Fred, thanks for taking us on that journey of knowledge.
The sound.
Anyway, that was a bad joke.
No. I'm actually a huge fan of Fred Hammond, so it was very good to hear that story.
Oh, okay,
Because,
okay.
bass player turned vocal. You know what I'm saying? So
Oh, that's right. I
see,
didn't think about that. You see?
see,
You see?
see.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing dude. We lost Michael, right? From Commission, the Michael Brooks.
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, we lost. Oh, okay. Well, yeah,
Oh,
we
man.
lost Mike a few months ago too.
Mm,
Yeah, because you remember him and Fred
yeah.
produced Commission.
I
Yeah,
was a big Commission fan. I just hadn't
yeah,
heard.
yeah. Well, hey, you never know what you'd learn on an interview with me, right?
Right, exactly. Wow, man, I hate to hear that.
Yeah. But he was. I think as a duo, a production duo, they were really amazing. Look what came out of that. And even when
Absolutely.
they worked separately,
Hmm.
two phenomenal dudes coming together and doing amazing music. Shout out to their families.
Yes.
You know, so my last question on personal life. You see, we're getting really personal.
See?
We're human right now. We're all
We are
human in
very.
the conversation. Um, who are you listening to this week in your player? Who you got going on that you can mention?
I've been listening to myself lately,
Okay.
critically listening, right? So
Mm,
when I'm preparing an album, I try to kind of stay in a lane, and I'll listen to some other music, but not a lot, because I don't want to second guess my own intuition about what I'm creating. And so I'll
mhm.
listen critically. Maybe there's a note I don't like, or maybe the reverb's not hitting a certain way. So I try to spend time riding, listening in my headphones, and making sure I feel a certain way about my final product, in hopes that you will feel the same way when you hear it. And so when I'm in the production mode and trying to close out a project, I try to drown out too many influences because it can color your perception of your own music. You know what I mean? But I love supporting and listening to what everybody's doing, but I also want to make sure that I stay clear on that I'm just hearing what's in my head. You know what I'm saying? And what's in my, you know.
Are you one of those artists that when you put the record out, you can't listen to it until maybe a year later?
I used to be one of those artists that I
Okay.
didn't like listening to myself at all because I was second guessing myself as a vocalist, or I just was insecure about it, to be honest, because I hadn't been singing my entire life. It's something it was one of my secondary talents, and then I fell in love with it and started developing it more down the line. But bass was my first love, and I always felt more comfortable grabbing a bass than grabbing a mic. You see what I mean? So over time, I got to a place where I like hearing myself. But that's when I started making music for myself and not to please a label, not to please an A&R guy, not to please another artist. So it's difficult as a writer when you're trying to guess what other people are looking for. You oftentimes lose your own voice in that process. And so over the past 5 years, man, I've just been in a place where I'm like, I like the way I sound. Like I sound pretty good. And so I absolutely listen to my music because I had to get to a place where I love what I'm doing for myself, regardless of the feedback that I get when other people hear it.
I can relate to when you spoke about having to submit music to A&Rs, and I went through that process as well. It's crazy because you try to find out, well, what are you looking for? Well, we're trying to meet this person meets that person, or we're trying to get this meeting that, and you're like, then you do it, and they're like, well, you're not really hitting it the way I think or you might hit it. And then they're like, what's that weird tone over there? And you're like, well, we could always pull that tone. Yeah, but I don't like that tone. Let's scrap that. And,
Right.
I mean, it would just be all types of weird reasoning. And as a creative, you're trying to fit into that equation. And I think with technology and everything changing, where we are right now, it's such a freeing experience as a musician. Musicians are a lot freer, if that's the word, to express, like, this is what I'm hearing, this is where I want to take it, and there's no red tape, and the executive producer got to check it out over there, and
Right.
you got to wait till the A&R does this, and then you got to wait till you're like, Jesus, could we just put a snare in here?
Right. Right there.
Could they just sing a note over there? Yeah, it gets really, it gets like really political, and you're like, okay, this guys, it's just a 3-minute song. Like, come on.
Yeah, you're right.
But it is freeing. It is a freeing experience. So what does Mr. Alvin Garrett have coming up in addition to new music?
Listen, I am promoting, getting out, and one of the things that I love to always do is encourage, power, and uplift. I do a lot of work in my hometown of Birmingham, Alabama, with prison reentry program, working with youth and adults that have been impacted by the criminal justice system or at environments, poverty, looking for a way up. And so at the Dannon Project, I have a songwriting therapy program that I teach there, which gives the participants an opportunity to get some behavioral health, some therapy, but also still engage with music and use writing and music creation as a healing process to get out there and how to think through their lives and where they're headed. You know what I mean? And so not just come in and do what you want to do, get something off your chest. Is how can you approach life as methodically as I have to approach writing a song, right? And so that's the process of what we do at the Dannon Project, giving people an opportunity to get job training, get trade skills, become nurses, regardless of where you've been from. So that's a big part of my life and giving back. And so I'm always going to make time for that, and no matter what I'm doing. And that's even through my music. I like to give life. You know what I mean? Help people when they hear my music or they get to know me. So I'll be promoting the music, always continuing to make time to be of assistance in the community that I live and abroad. And so, yeah.
So, Mr. Alvin, it's been an honor to do this interview with you. Thanks for sharing your talent, your music, your time, your stories. Is there anything that you wanted to address that I didn't ask in the interview that you have the moment to address it now, if there's anything?
Well, first, I just want to thank you and encourage everybody to go follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok at the Alvin Garrett, as you see it right there. And also just released a wonderful new video on YouTube for You Give Me Life. So go see me doing my thing.
Okay.
Like a little mini movie. Just go to Alvin Garrett on YouTube. And go to alvingarrett.com to get to know me better. And I'm just grateful for the opportunity to meet you, my friend. And maybe one day we'll have to get in the kitchen and cook up.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you're going to be in the Orlando area, let me know. We can. I like to know when folks come in. Sometimes I can do something with the students at Full Sail University.
Yes, I would love
so that'll be cool if you're in town, and I can introduce us to some of the course directors there and stuff.
I would love to do that.
Yes.
And I can certainly be intentional about it. I got wings.
But since you mentioned it, quick question. You spoke about a video, mini movie. Is it like a really you did something? It's the music video, but is it sort of like you made some additions to it?
Yes, it's actually story driven, and it's a story. I was in a car accident. And so in the
story,
car accident, and my lover in the video, prayed me back to life. But interesting enough, the director Ron Evans, he didn't know my personal story, but I actually lived through that, where my dad was in a life-threatening car accident when I was 8 years old, and so my mom was with him through that entire ordeal. He actually did die on the table. And so she was there and she witnessed him go to the beyond and come back. And so she stayed there with him. And so that was actually a part of my actual story in a different way. And he didn't even know that. So when you watch the video, you kind of see a light reenactment of my parents' story. And so it was just really spiritual that he saw that vision when we started talking about the song in the video. And so shout out to Ron Evans with Life GM Productions. Y'all check it out. And it's a moving story where you can see how love can bring you to life.
Wow. I think God wrote the script for this interview. I couldn't even script this way. Amazing. Mr. Garrett, thank you again. This was amazing. Consider yourself a friend of Muzilog. Tangi would obviously let me know what's happening, but if you just wanted to send out something, feel free to do that. You need to do a quick live. Hey, I need to talk about this. We'll make the space to make it happen.
Absolutely. So you're a friend of mine as well. I really enjoy getting to know you, and I am going to make it to Full Sail. I've always wanted to visit.
Okay.
Something I've always wanted to do. I've always known about it. Never got a chance to go, but I love to have the opportunity to come down there and visit.
We would love to definitely have you down there. I know the students would benefit. They just not to length the interview too long, because we do have others coming up. But if you have real life experience that they can interject with what they study on the academic side, and create that balance where they have that information, it really makes them better.
Yes.
and all of us, it makes all of us better, presenting the material and shaping the future, helping to shape the future for the up and coming ones. So yeah, we'll definitely love to have you hang out there as well.
Let's make it happen.
All right, man.
Thank you so much for having me.
You are welcome.